Hey, this is Jared with the Daily App Show. We're going to take a look at AccelaStudy. This is the Russian English version. So in this application, it is going to teach us how to use and speak the Russian language. And so it does that in a unique way. We go in and we create a study plan for ourselves. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come into Plan, and you're going to want to choose Categories. In this version, I want to show you how to specifically learn a certain category and focus on that category. On another video, which you can find at dailyappshow.com, we're going to take a look at the Spanish version, where I'm going to show the overall features and functions of the application on top of what we're learning in this version today. So what I'm doing here is looking at all the different categories. I could select all or select none. So say, for example, I am going to have a conversation with someone, or I'm listening to something in Russian, perhaps maybe the cost of something, and I need to kind of know numbers and counting. I need to know the basics of numbers and counting in Russian. So I would select that item. You can see it's got a check mark there, and then I'd hit the back button. Tap the back button, and then under my study sets, I haven't created any of those yet, but I could go in and create a custom study set and use those categories that I've chosen and create study sets. Now under I'm studying, I would want to choose selected categories because I only want to show in my study the categories that I've selected. If I was to choose all words, then it would be essentially the same thing as having all of the categories selected. So I have selected categories, and I have my statistics here, and of course nothing has a percentage because I haven't done any of them other than numbers and counting, and you can see I'm 3% complete with numbers and counting, and it shows my statistic details here. So let's go back. Under options, it's important to take a look at these options as well. Under our study options, we have the different order that we can display things, not only for our study options, but for our flashcard and quiz options. So let's look at study.
Billion.
Right when I open study, it's going to go and show me the first one, and it's going to read it to me in Russian because that's the option that I have chosen in settings. Of course, I could change those options to have it speak the English version for me, but I think if I'm trying to learn Russian, I'm going to want the Russian version said. Now I can simply go on to the next one.
Двойная. Двойное.
And you can see for this word, there are different ways of saying it depending on how you are saying it. There's like the masculine, the feminine, and the noun, so it says it the three different versions. I can adjust my audio levels up here, and I can replay
Двойной.
down here.
Двойная. Двойное.
So what I would be doing, perhaps with headphones on or just in a quiet room, listening to these,
Дюжина.
I would be saying dozen to myself,
Дюжина.
and then дюжина.
8. 18. 80. 11. 15.
And I would go through these and study these as much as I needed to until I felt comfortable with them. Then I can move on to flashcards, and you can see here it's showing me just the Russian word.
Some.
If I tap once, it flips that over and gives me the English version. In settings, I can reverse this. I could have the first thing shown to me as the English version, and then when I flip the card, it would show me and speak the Russian version.
3.
Simply scrolling to the side takes me to the next card.
3.
Dozen.
Дюжина.
Single.
Одинарный. Одинарная. Одинарная.
All right. And then spaced
Single.
repetition.
Одинарный. Одинарная. Одинарная.
So this is essentially like a practice test. Now it goes through and it reads those off, but of course I would be saying them first. And if I was correct, I would hit the check mark. If I was incorrect, I would hit the red X.
Dozen.
So now it's given me dozen. So what I would do is say, either in my head or out loud, the Russian version translation of dozen,
дюжина,
then tap, and if I got it correct,
100,
I can always replay.
100,
Volume control there, like always.
100,
90,
So now we can do a quiz. Now with the quiz, we have the English version, and then we have to choose the correct version. I made the mistake the first couple times of tapping and dragging, thinking that there were more than 4 options, but this is not an option where you can drag up and down, so you want to be careful. So once you've done your quiz, you can always come back and do it over again, or start off right where you left off. The audio quiz
billion,
essentially is the same thing, but it's being spoken without actually showing us the words. So we have to listen to it and then go ahead and give our answer. At any time we can search for any of the words in English or Spanish, English or Russian.
bill, bill, billion, billionaire,
And then use the translate tool to translate. So AccelaStudy essentially is a powerful tool for learning specific languages. In this demo, we're looking at Russian. So of course there are many categories. In this video, we looked at choosing one category to narrow down our studies and be specific at what we were looking at. For a view of the entire category list, we're going to look at AccelaStudy Spanish-English. So make sure you check out that video. Head over to dailyappshow.com and just do a search for AccelaStudy, and you will find the apps that we have listed there in the different translations. So thanks for checking out this demo. Take care, and we'll see you next time on the Daily App Show.